Hello everyone, welcome to StudyIQ English. The topic right now is associated with GS Paper 2 International Relations as we look at the bilateral exercise between India and Maldives. And as you and I are talking about the exercise Ekuverin, yes, it is ongoing right now. It began on 2nd December and it shall continue up till 15th December 2025. And what exactly are we talking about? We are talking about the bilateral military exercise that's called exercise Ekuverin. Now this time we are celebrating the 14th edition of Ekuverin exercise, and let's remember it always happens between India, that's Indian Army, alongside Maldives National Defence Force. And it is being undertaken at Thiruvananthapuram in Kerala. As I said, the exercise will be conducted until 15th of December. It just shows the long-standing military partnership, defence cooperation, interoperability between India and Maldives, as well as the agenda between the two countries to improve their operational preparedness, defence, cooperation and coordination. Now that I'm talking about India and Maldives, here's a quick question to you. If you have been following our news initiatives, you might know recently India had hosted the 7th edition of the Colombo Security Conclave at New Delhi. It was a meeting that was held at the level of National Security Advisor. And if you remember, India and Maldives both were a part of the summit. They are both a part of the conclave. But there is one new country which has recently joined. Which country is that? Can you please tell me the name of that country in the comment box? Okay, so do let me know the name. And now coming back to this exercise right now, exercise Ekuverin. Now exercise Ekuverin typically means, literally the word means friendship. The word means being friends with someone. And this is a symbol of India and Maldivian friendship, a deep-rooted relationship of trust and military ties. The exercise has been conducted annually. It happens every year and the location changes. It alternates between both the countries since 2009. So since 2009. It is ultimately a flagship initiative of India's Neighbourhood First policy. Now, this is the second time in the news in the last 2-3 days that we are talking about the Neighbourhood First policy. Recently, as Sri Lanka has been battered by Cyclone Ditwa, it was India that under Operation Sagar Bandhu has provided major help. Yes, I also asked you a question that day, that which are the two Indian vessels that are involved in the security and assistance operation in Sri Lanka. One was INS Udaygiri. What's the name of the other one? Quickly do let me know. So that was also in line with India's neighbor first policy. India recently has sent tons of vaccines and medicines to Afghanistan led by Taliban. That also is about neighbor first policy. And now that India and Maldives are conducting this exercise here, ultimately another test for India's neighbor first policy. At the same time, it also demonstrates the regional stability and defense partnership. Now we all understand that this Indian Ocean region is also a very vulnerable region. We all know that it is China and the aggression by China that has had a big impact on not just the Indo-Pacific but also the Indian Ocean. That's also the reason why India is always focusing too much on exercises like Malabar with the Quad, on exercise Konkan with UK. At the same time, the Colombo Security Conclave. The idea is to encourage the countries of the Indian Ocean, the littoral states, to come together and provide some defense infrastructure in the ocean. Ultimately, it's also about India's blue economy policy or India's Great Mahasagar initiative in order to provide more maritime security and maritime control in India. So it also tallies with that objective. Now looking at what are the broad ideas, intentions behind Ekuverin, the idea is to have counter-insurgency operations. So broadly you can say there are 3 pillars to this exercise. One is counter-insurgency operations. The next is counter-terrorism tactics. Third is joint action in forest, jungle, semi-urban and coastal terrain. Yes, when we talk about the coastal terrain, when we talk about the shallow coastal water, I also recently spoke to you about INS Mahe. Remember? The speciality of INS Mahe to operate in shallow coastal water, to act as the first line of defense, and now again we are seeing the same thing in the news right now, to operate in semi-urban, in jungle, thickly forested and coastal areas. That's the three-pillar agenda of the Ekuverin exercise, and troops, that is military from both the sides, both India and Maldives, will engage in simulation. That means to create a war-like situation and then to learn how to deal with that through military tactics. They will undergo field training, they will do sharing with each other, their best military practices, and at the same time interoperability. Right? That's the intention behind any military exercise, to do operational planning with each other. All these activities aim to build, yes, as I said, interoperability, a united way of acting together, a coordinated action response, synergy, and responsiveness to evolving security challenges. And whenever you talk about maritime security challenge, you cannot let the issue pass by without mentioning the East and South China Sea. Recently, in the last 10 days, we have heard the Senkaku conflict. We have heard the island of Yonaguni. A little while back, we were talking about the Thitu Island, plus also the Coco Island, the Malacca Strait. So do remember, ultimately, it's about ocean security. That's the agenda that India has. And now, Ekuverin, also do remember for your exam, that's UPSC Prelims exam, that Ekuverin is one of the three major joint exercise that happens between India and Maldives. Which are the other ones? The other one is Ekta. Okay, Ekta. The other one is then Dosti. But Dosti happens to be a trilateral exercise, because exercise Dosti also sees the participation of Sri Lanka, right? So bilateral, Ekuverin and Ekta, and when you talk about Dosti, that's a trilateral including Sri Lanka. Now Ekuverin also is about growing defense cooperation, ultimately to bring more security in the Indian Ocean region. Okay, so that's it about exercise Ekuverin, and a quick practice prelims question to you. Consider the following statements regarding exercise Ekuverin. We just spoke about it. 1. The exercise is an annual joint military exercise between India and Maldives, and it has been conducted alternately in both the countries since 2009. The main focus is joint naval drill in deep sea warfare and maritime cyber security. And 3. The word Ekuverin means friendship. It signifies defense cooperation and friendly relations between the two countries. Which of these statements do you think are correct? You can let me know your answer, and besides, you can also answer all the other questions that I have just posed to you. That's a great way of connecting and remembering current affairs. And if you enjoy this technique of learning, connecting, remembering, and doing some kind of mind mapping, then do not forget that you will get all this and much more as a part of our Success in Prelims initiative. A sale that will train you rigorously as a crash course for the upcoming UPSC 2026 exam. Here we guarantee you selection in the prelims, only at a price of 5,499 by covering GS paper 1 and CSAT for you completely, including test practice and time management, plus all the material online, offline books, one-on-one mentorship, only at 5,499. And how can you apply for the sale course? Just by using the code SPLIVE. Yes, we are one click away. So allow me to be a part of your journey. Use code SPLIVE because the sale ends on 7th December. But then if you are writing the exam in 2027, there's another great opportunity. At a price of barely 12,499, we offer you prelims, mains, as well as interview guidance, basic interview guidance. All material available, Hindi, English, bilingual, everything at a price of 12,499 for more than 16 months. That's much more than 1 year. Yeah, right? And if you are interested, please use code SPLIVE. Sale ends 7 December. And similarly, morning, evening batch, weekend batch, everything, prelims, mains, interview guidance as a part of 2028 Mission Success Sale at a price of 30. Now it's not even 31, 3499. So use code SPLIVE, enroll for these great offers, give a professional edge to your UPSC preparation. Thank you.